What's up, Banditos? Max armor on kill builds aren't anything new, but they can be very underwhelming if they're assembled incorrectly. So underwhelming, some take multiple mags to even kill a red non-elite. That's disappointing. If you can't get the kill, how are you gonna get the armor on kill, right? Does that make sense? Good question, huh? Okay, so we're gonna start with an armor on kill build that actually doesn't suck. Then I'll show you all the directions you can take it. Let's go. Banditos, Division 2, and you're live with Tux. What is going on? Hope you're all having a good afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on where you're chiming in from. But I got a good show for you today, Banditos. We're going to be running a max armor on kill build today. A lot of fun. I actually think these are really fun to run. In this one, we're going to start with one that's actually going to work. I don't know if you've tried these max armor on kills builds before, but they can kind of be disappointing if you don't put some thought into it. And I see some people just kind of slap these up and then throw them on YouTube, and I know when you try them out, you're like, man, I can't even kill anybody with this thing, and so I get killed instead. Yeah, so if you can't get the kill, then why have armor on kill? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And so we're going to start off with this build. I got some gameplay footage for you. We're going to do some gaming live as well, and then go through some iterations on this build, because there's so many different directions you can take these builds. But first off, if you like what I do and you want to support me, then make sure you hit the like right now and subscribe if you haven't done that. Subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications means that you'll get those notifications when I go live on a daily basis, and also when I drop that hot uploaded content as well. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's also make sure we get some Tux lives in the chat. I'm sure they're already going, so I appreciate that if you guys are already started on that level, because my boys are always ahead of the game. This should be a big stream. Thursday nights are always a fun one. Let's see who we got in the house today. Who was first? Is that Availing Power is first up? What's up, AP? Sick Jim, you're right behind him. Nice, bro. Tux clanning it up too. Appreciate that. Batmo Bike, welcoming all the Banditos. Appreciate Batmo Bike for running the challenge. So yesterday, guys, I did a stream on Twitch, and we were live streaming the Extreme Random Build Challenge. So this one was in group, where the previous week I did it solo. It was a lot of fun, and it's still a project in process, and Batmo Bike was there to help me, so appreciate you, man. And then Xander 600, what up? Class is in session. The School of Tuxology. What up, Maxim Nadin? How's it going, bro? Appreciate a shout out to Tux Nation. Appreciate that, man. Chicken and chips. Chicken and chips, what? You're in the house? We got a man named Chicken and Chips. Yesterday in the live stream, we had a guy named Little Ketchup Packet or something like that. And today we got Chicken and Chips. If we can get both of these boys in the house at the same time, well, I don't know, maybe it's a bad idea, huh? Well, quit and run to McDonald's or something. But what up, Chicken and Chips? Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat, he says. Appreciate you making this live stream, man. Destroyer of Words. Who Dis? With this classic Who Dis. Black John Wick. Glad you made this one, man. What's up? Randy Savage. Jarrell Velez. My Porto Rambo. What's going on, brother? Xander says, bring it on. Tux Clan live. Oh, Jarrell's got it all up in there, man. He's got the Tux, the Clan on the live. We got new hashtags coming in. Randy Savage, Tux, how can I stream your Twitch? Randy's got a good question for us. That's a good question, Randy. So he's saying, how can I stream your Twitch when I'm at work and not get reprimanded, huh? I don't know. You know, I think you gotta go anonymous, bro. You know what I mean? Just run around to work with like a mask, so like this, so nobody knows who you are. Maybe I'll ship you a TuxedoBandido mask. What's going on, Jarrell Velez? You running raids, bro? You raiding like a madman? So Jarrell's in our first Tux Clan on the Xbox side, and he be raiding. He's one of those loyal raiders. So can't wait. We got to get together, man, and do a raid here soon together. Look forward to doing that. I'm glad you're catching more of these live streams too, man. I saw you were on the other day too. Appreciate that. Daniel Mercado, what's up, brother? Add some sauce to chicken and chips and sauce. You should put that in your name, man, like in parentheses and sauce. What up, Big Chris? What's going on, brother? Batmo Bike. Best day of my life, Tux. I wish it was, man. That was a long day. We had a lot of randoms kind of jumping in and out too, which was, we had some surprises, huh, bro? But good, man. Rambo, you're still rating. Word up. Axion, you need that rail splitter, man. Okay, everybody, that rail splitter's for sale. DZ South, right? So make sure you guys all head on down there. You need some DZ credits to get it, but it's for sale. It is literally my favorite gun in the game. It always has been, actually. So even before they went to Gear 2.0, so a long time ago we're talking about, like the rail splitter used to have perfectly measured on it, and then they changed it. So it is but now it's got perfectly accurate, and it's the only weapon that can have that. So it's an amazing thing because it's got like amazing RPM, and you can we put together a 4-piece striker build for that rail splitter just the other day. I mean, you can just whip something like that together, and it's just like the thing that shreds. You feel like you're wearing the strongest build in the game. You just do. No glass cannon needed, you know? And it's because RPMs are king in this game, and it's got like a really decent base weapon damage. The only thing I don't like about that weapon is that you can't put an 8x scope, because if you put an 8x scope on that, holy shit, you would be crushing it, man. You'd be crushing it. Axion says, yeah, just need to go into the DZ for 4 hours. JD Reese, what's going on, bro? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so how many of you guys have tried a max armor on kill build, right? So like these, when I mean max armor on kill, I mean max armor on kill. I mean using like all of the different pieces that you possibly can to get your armor on kill like way up there, right? Like, and so when you do that, you know, it's a hodgepodge build. It's a Frankenstein build, right? Because there's so many different components. The cool thing about max armor and kill builds is that you can bring them in. You can bring max armor and kill in so many different ways. You can bring it in from a weapon. You can bring it in from a weapon talent. You could bring it in from a specialized pieces like the death grip gloves. You can bring it in from brand sets like Bellstone. And you could also bring it in from gear sets like System Corruption and Hunter's Fury, right? And even what else, guys? What else gives us armor on kill? Badger Tough, right? So we're gonna start with the build, probably the best way to go max armor on kill. So the build I'm gonna show you is probably the best way. And so if you see something that you might think it would add to this to make it even better, please raise your paw and let me know. You know, shout it out in the chat. So if you know, there's no wrong. There's no wrong. This is a safe place. We build together. We be building together, right? So don't be afraid to throw out suggestions and be like, hey, Tux, have you tried this or try that and try this or whatever. And then we will try to iterate this build, because what I'm gonna do after we run this initial build is I'm gonna show you that there's so many different ways to assemble this and make it even stronger. Okay, even stronger. But it's just like anything else, you have to have synergy. So remember, if you're running a max armor on kill build, if you can't get the kill, what's the point, right? And what's the good measure of a kill, right? Time to kill, right? That's what we're talking about. And what is time to kill? You know, so, you know, with these types of builds, I would say, like, you know, and this is probably kind of a standard and it totally depends, but you need to be able to take out your average elite on heroic in a single mag, okay? If you have to reload to take out an elite, and sometimes you do because you might miss a shot, you miss too many shots, and so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like, you're standing in front of an elite and you got some clean shots on him, you get clean shots on him, you should be able to take him down in a single mag. If you can't do that, then, you know, go back to the table. You know what I mean? Go back to the lab. Fast travel, motherfuckers, fast travel. Because, I mean, that's a problem, man. You get the problem. Okay, I need to make sure you guys understand what I'm saying. Dennis Young, Voon, what's going on, Dennis? What's going on, bro? I'm glad you're making this one, man. This is a good one. Ray V, what's up? Yeah, Ray V's, exactly, bro. Exactly. Okay, so, and I just saw this, I saw a video the other day. I was just watching, I watch all my YouTube stuff, right? But like, I saw this armor on kill build, and it was like, and it was really struggling to kill on even a red on a non-elite. You know what I mean? It was like, it took like a mag plus 2 rounds, and I was just like, wow, that was a red guy. It was a red guy, you know, and that doesn't make any sense, right? So you need to adjust your build. You need to be able to take out an elite in a single mag. I mean, or something, you know, I mean, your measure might be different, but that's my measure for me, and I feel like that's at a really good place. Now, I do believe, like, you guys ever heard me say this a lot? You probably have, right? Like, where I say, like, I have this thing that I've been saying because I see these comments on everywhere, but which is this. People say, like, oh, that build is really sweet, like when you're playing solo, but when I go in group, it sucks. The build doesn't change, right? The build doesn't change. It's the enemies' level of difficulty. They're basically become stronger, right? They shoot harder and they require more bullets to go down. The build still, if the build crits at 1,000,000, the build's gonna still crit at 1,000,000 when you go play in group. It's just gonna stay at 1,000,000, right? So 1,000,000 is 1,000,000. 1,000,000 crit is good. Like, it's still good in group, right? But the difference is that if you feel like your build sucks in group, well, you need to approach your group and you guys need to do a little huddle, a little team huddle, and be like, look, we need to stick together. We need to be playing as a squad, focus firing, pull it in. This is not a divide and conquer a game. That's not how this game plays in group. You know, this is supposed to be, you know, band together because you're supposed to be an underdog. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be an underdog, and that means that you need to stick together. And that's why when you play Legendary, you're much more effective when all four of you are shooting at the most, your priorities, your target priorities. You need to prioritize your targets. You need to know what they are, right? Like if you're doing District Union, Arena, and Legendary, when you get going, right, it's those tanks. So the only thing that can flank you are those tanks. Nobody else can come past the tire barriers, right, in the entrance. So if you're not shooting at the tanks, why shoot at anybody else? It's only the tanks that can flank you. Nobody else can. And then, of course, it's the grenaders, because the only one that can reach you behind cover, right? So those are your main priorities. And then, of course, the technicians that can fix the tanks. And then from there, it's the drone operators. There's only 2 enemies in all of District Union Arena's entrance, in that first entire checkpoint, that can go past the tires. It is the tanks and the drone operators. Nobody else can get behind you. So those are your real priorities, right? Anybody else, I mean, the chungas are easy. Just stay in cover. They're come and go. So you need to squad together. You need to have a game plan. You need to come together, okay? Now, here's my exception. So what I was saying is that your builds don't suck when they go to group. It's your groups that can suck. Bad team synergies, right? There's an exception to that. And somebody else brought this up in response to that comment in a different video, and I applaud them because they're exactly right. Armor on kill builds do actually get weaker, right, when you play in group. Do you understand why? It's because the whole base of the build is armor on kill, right? That's the central theme to the build. So when you go and when you run an armor on kill solo build, your time to kill is essentially it's essential that you have a really high fast time to kill, and that's kind of balanced out with this really high armor on kill, right? But what's gonna happen is when you go in group, your time to kill is gonna dramatically change. And if your build is centered on armor on kill, and then your time to kill gets dramatically different, and it becomes so difficult for you to get your kill, then you're gonna have to start rebalance. You have to rebalance your build for group play so that you have more kill and less armor on kill, so that you can get back in balance, right? So my point is that, like, I'm not going to show you group play with this build. I don't think this is a great build for group play. You can run it with the group play, but it's not that great for group play. You got homies. If you go down, you guys should be playing in a squad. So if you go down, you know, somebody's can pick you up. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, or there could be a healer. Like, why have this crazy armor on kill if you have a healer on your team? You don't know what you guys are going to bring, right? So this would be like, I guess I would call it overkill, and that's why you don't want to run this build so much in group. And the reason why I'm presenting it today, because I know that 50% of you, if not greater, classify yourselves as solo PVE players. And so if you consider yourself a solo player, then this build is a lot of fun. But do not take this build into the raid. Do not take this build into legendary group play. It's going to be worthless in legendary group play. Can you bring in a legendary solo play? Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I just declassified a build, right? That had 45% armor on kill, solo, legendary build, right? That was a declassified build. I was like, 2 weeks ago, I think I declassified that one. And it's absolutely shreds. So you can do high armor and kill builds and solo legendary content with it. And I did, and it was a shotgun build. And it was absolutely amazing. And I even teach you how to solo legendary using that build from front to back with that hour-long live stream that's connected to that video. So I invite you to check that out. Definitely invite you to check that out. But anyways, my point is that it's overkill for group. And so if you're gonna take this into group, you're not gonna run a max armor on kill build. You can still have high armor on kill builds, that's acceptable. But a max armor on kill build in group just doesn't synergize with the group concept. These are solo builds, really. I mean, this is my opinion though, okay? Right here, this is my opinion. This is what I recommend, is that, I mean, I consider myself a solo player and I have like 13 clans or 20 clans or however we have, right? But even Rambo can attest, right? Rambo's probably always sees me running solo. And that's because I'm working, right? Like, I'm not a gamer, man. I'm a community leader. So I'm working for the community when I'm out there. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, but I do classify myself at heart, inside my heart, I classify myself as a solo player. And that's because I use gaming as a way to, like, you know, to get into that virtual world, put on my jams, just listen to some really good music, and, you know, think about my builds and whatever. You know, I'm not so much of a chatty Cathy and want to kind of chat it up on chats with dudes in the clans or whatever. But of course I hook up with the guys all the time. You know what I mean? And we run specific content or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, in my heart, I consider myself a solo player, and so I like playing solo also because you can extend the variety of builds that you want. Anyways, my point is, I'll get off of that soapbox, is that if you're a solo player, these builds are definitely dedicated to you. If you're gonna take this into a group play, what I suggest is you tone down the armor on kill. Okay, it's overkill for group play, and you need more kill, less armor on kill for group play. Okay, so let's get into the build. You guys ready to look at the build? All right, and as usual, if you got any questions, make sure you hit me up with like a big question, literally the word question in the beginning, go all caps on it, make sure it stands out, but that way I can see what's up, and who needs me to answer that question. So that really helps, because as I'm rolling in the game, it's hard to actually get to the questions, and so I take pauses in between gameplay. Okay, so let's look at the build, okay? So this is a max armor on kill build. I forget what the total is, so we're gonna have to count it up together. Let me hide the chat here so you can actually see it. Oops, wrong one. Chat, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so of course we're running Gunner. Everybody knows why we're running Gunner, because it gives you 10% armor on kill. So really helpful. It also gives you some faster reloads, a little bit of weapon handling, right? And ammo generation, which is nice. Okay, so this is the build, a really good setup, and this is the way you want to run it, okay? And so you want to use the mop. The mop is a really good shotgun, guys. It really is. I know a lot of you are using this as a secondary weapon, but if you're just using it as a secondary weapon, that's a mistake. So I implore you to try this as a primary weapon. It's an off-meta, it's a good shotgun for off-meta shotgun builds, especially, okay? But it's the only weapon in the game that has a secondary attribute on the weapon by default as 10% armor on kill. That's amazing, okay? Now, in addition to that, I put on preservation, which is also armor on kill, but it's over 5 seconds, okay? So if you get a body shot, you're gonna get 10% armor on kill over 5 seconds. If you get a headshot, you're gonna get 20% armor on kill over 5 seconds. That's actually really important. The overtime part is actually really important. It allows you to take damage and still be healing through that damage. It's gonna offset damage. And so you'll see that happening all the time in some of the gameplay footage as we roll, okay? And then I put on, I got rate of fire here. I don't know if I actually want that, but you know, it is what it is. Reload speed is actually probably better, to tell you the truth. Either way, you know, I'll go to put on reload to switch that. Actually, so the gameplay footage I had a rate of fire, but you know, you don't really need it. I got this nice little relic skin, but anyways, we critted this out, okay? So we're gonna roll with crits on this build. That's the way that I went, okay? Okay, so the shotgun is bringing this 30% armor on kill, all right? With preservation and then the attribute. And so with Gunner, we're already at 40% armor on kill. Now I gotta stop right there and just tell you, that is enough armor on kill for any content. You do not need to go any further, okay? So if you want a good high survivability build, 40% armor on kill is amazing. You don't need any more. We topped it out. I mean, that's more than anything. Most people are running around with 10 or 20% armor on kill, and they're completely happy with that. From the gun and gunner, from the mop and gunner, we're already at 40%. Do you absolutely need more? No. You're good to go. Now, this is a max armor on kill build, so we're gonna have some fun with it. And it's actually a lot of fun. This one actually works. I'm enjoying it. And I slapped it together, ran 3 control points, and just like, yep, this is the one. And so this is really straightforward, okay? Now let's go to the death grips. Let's go to the gloves, okay? So the death grips these are Dark Zone gloves, okay? So Dark Zone exclusive gloves. They're 511, which sucks, but the death grips give you that 10% armor on kill. So this is like a really easy way to get 10% more armor on kill without having to run multiple pieces. And that's why it's so awesome, okay? Like, Bellstone is nice, but you have to run 2 pieces of Bellstone. And we don't need, do you need armor regen on an armor on kill build? Absolutely not. Get rid of any armor regen that you can, if possible. That's a waste. You do not need armor regen on a max armor on kill build. All right, you're better off with like crits or something else there. So, whatever. We got crit damage there, okay? So, also, oh, by the way, so you can get these from the DZ. Sometimes vendors sell them. The DZ vendors sell them, but also you can farm named item caches. So next Tuesday, start on February 15th, the season 8, which is season 2, is starting. That means we're gonna get global events again. That means you can go and farm those Dark Zone exclusive items by playing those global events, getting those red stars, and buying named item caches from the seasoned vendor. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I got a video out on that. You can check that out, or ask questions, and people in the chat will help you understand what I just said. Anyways, so the backpack, okay? So my backpack is my first piece of Bellstone. We're gonna run 2 pieces because that's gonna give us 10% armor on kill. So this is sort of an obvious. This is one way to do it though. Again, we're gonna talk about other ways to get max armor on kill. This is just one way. So I max critted this bad boy, and then we got an adrenaline rush, and we got some armor with this one, okay? So you can go different ways. You want adrenaline rush. Why? Because adrenaline rush is basically fueling our power, okay? So the adrenaline rush is gonna give us bonus armor without a kill. You do not want Bloodsucker. Listen to me, Bloodsucker's a bad idea. Do not go Bloodsucker on this build. You need the power up front without a kill. If you require power to get the kill also, if you require a kill to get power, that's why you're struggling on killing a non-elite. It's because you don't have any power. And then you kill him, and then you get this little tiny sliver of bonus armor, and then somebody shoots you with a bullet, and then that bonus armor goes away. Now you're standing in front of elites, and now you gotta kill that elite without Intimidate, because you don't have Bloodsucker anymore, because they keep taking it away from you. Adrenaline rush goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back, all by itself. You do not have to kill. So the instant you step in range with an enemy, you're gonna get that bonus armor to at least 20%, if there's one of them in front of you, right? At least 20% of your armor is gonna be bonus armor. That's massive. And guess what? You didn't have to kill anybody. And so you're gonna get your power off of your first round. So if you go Bloodsucker, that's not intuitive. That is a bad idea. I like the idea of being able to stack all this bonus armor on kill and whatever, but you understand that's out of synergy with the build, okay? Because if you can't get your kill, then you're not gonna get the bonus armor, and then you're not gonna get the more power. And so you have to have power somewhere, guys. You gotta have power somewhere on these builds. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up as a tank that can't kill anything. And then why have armor on kill if you're just a tank that can't kill anything? That's ridiculous. Do not use Bloodsucker. It's not that I'm not a fan of Bloodsucker. I'm just saying you'll be out of synergy for the build. You need to have power, okay? You're putting yourself in, if you run Bloodsucker, you're putting yourself in situations, okay? You're making the build situational. It's only gonna work when you step in front of a non-elite. But when you step in front of an elite, you're gonna have to reload, shoot and reload, shoot and reload. You're gonna die a bunch of times. It's just a bad idea. You don't need that. You don't need that, okay? You need to have power off of your first round off of that mag. Now, we already dedicated the weapon to giving us defense, right? Preservation. So there's no power there, right? You can run Optimus, you can run Strain, whatever. You can run Pummel, but we don't have any of that there. And so you got to be able to, we're not running Vigilance, you're not running, Composure or anything else, right? Companion. So you gotta have power somewhere on the build, right? So you need adrenaline rush to power you up, okay? And the power, it's powering up Intimidate, okay? And so this is a Bellstone, which is our chest piece, and it's gonna be our second piece of Bellstone, giving us 10% more armor on kill. And Intimidate's giving us 35% amplified damage. So that's a lot of damage. So if you run Bloodsucker, you're gonna be missing 35% amplified damage a lot, right? And then sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll be able to get a kill, and then you get a little bit of bonus armor, and then you'll get the next kill, and now you got a lot of bonus armor, and then you can roll off of that luck, right? But we don't need to be lucky. What we need are builds that are reliable. We need reliability. And the reason why you need reliability is because this is a no shield, run and gun, heroic shotgun build that requires a kill to survive. You gotta kill, you're going from kill to survive, okay? So I have armor regen here. I wish I didn't, but I just don't have another chest piece. But you'd be better off for crit chance there, okay? I'm sure you guys all have a double crit, a Bellstone with Intimidate, but that's the better one here. You do not need armor regen. That's a wasted slot. I totally wish that was crit chance, but it's what I got. So anyways, I got a crit chance mod there. Okay, if you try to put together an max armor on kill build without Hunter's Fury and you're using the mop, that's another mistake. Okay, you understand? So you could go system corruption with, there's a couple other ways you can go with this, but if you put on 2-piece system corruption, then you're gonna have one other slot that you can put like Badger Tough for that third slot, right? But the problem is that Badger Tough is only gonna give you 10%. Let me double check that because I'm going off of memory here. Yeah. So Badger Tough only gives you 10% shotgun damage, where Hunter's Fury gives you 15% shotgun damage. You understand? So Hunter's Fury is a better piece. And what is system? And I got system corruption, so I can run system corruption. Let me show you system corruption. You guys know the system corruption. So of course it's a system corruption is there. It is. There's a piece. So by running 2 pieces of system corruption, you get 15% armor on kill. Okay. So you could run 2 pieces of system corruption plus Badger. Then you got 15% armor on kill plus 10% shotgun damage. But wouldn't you rather have 15% shotgun damage and 20% armor on kill? Do you understand? So that's a big difference. However, you would gain an extra attribute slot, so you could put like crit chance or crit damage if you ran the Badger. So that is a pro, but that's not going to be as much as, that's not going to outweigh the extra 5% armor on kill with the extra 5% weapon damage. That is a stronger combination for your build. So you need to run 3 pieces if you're going to run the mop. Obviously, if you're not using the mop, then you don't need to run Hunter's Fury. You could go with something else, but this is just ideal, right? So, yeah, so we're running 3 pieces, so we got this critted out here, okay? And then we got our second piece for our holster, and we got more crit damage and weapon damage here. And then our final piece of Hunter's Fury is our knees, and more weapon damage and more crit damage. Okay, so notice the split. You know how Tux rolls. Tux likes balance, right? And so we're running a 3-3 core build here, okay? 3 reds, 3 blues. 1.3 million armor, right? So now you might be able to go a little bit more armor, maybe 1 more core, but I don't really recommend it. This was at a really good place for time to kill. I can one-shot a 1 mag elites, okay? I can empty a single mag on elites or less with this, and that's all I want. The reason why you want some armor is because you want to buff up that adrenaline rush for you so that it's at a healthy place. That way you can take fire, okay? So if you find yourself at 100% armor all the time, then you need to tweak your build a little bit, okay? You want your armor to be working for you. I'm trying to get you guys trained that way, right? You shouldn't be at max armor all the time. You should be taking damage. You need your armor to be working for you. So if you're gonna be running builds like this, then you need to be maybe playing more aggressive, maybe get out of cover more. That you need the armor to work for you. The point of having high armor like this is so that you can play out of cover, take more damage, get your kill, fill it back up, take more damage as you're running around, right? You see what I'm saying? So you need to get your armor to work for you, okay? So the idea is not to sit there and stay at max armor, although it's gonna happen a lot, but you want it to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, that's the idea of using your armor for you, making it active. I call it active armor. It's basically what I call it. You want it to be active. So If you find yourself your armor is always full, then you need to tweak something, and this might be your gameplay, right? You need to be more aggressive. So these are aggressive builds, right? These are face tanking builds. You can be face tanking bosses with this, okay? Elite named bosses, heroic bosses, okay? Heroic bosses. So can you take this into a legendary and solo it? I didn't try. It's possible, but I'd probably make some tweaks. So that's my guess. Okay, for skills, again, this is no shield. That's how I roll. I mean, if you really wanted a shield, that's fine. But I think one of the strengths to this build is your agility and speed, not in just time to kill, but also in your fast movements. And so if you roll a tank, you're gonna attract a lot more bullets, and you're also gonna be clunky. You're gonna catch the edge of your shield on door jams and, you know, on little pieces of whatever is laying around in the field. So I'm using the Banshee and the Decoy, and so those are my shield, okay? And so let's look at the stats. So stats-wise, we're at 50% crit chance. Again, if I had that one slot, we'd be at 56%, but this is fine for shotguns, okay? This isn't an assault rifle build or whatever, so this is fine for shotguns. And we're at 104% crit damage. This is great. This is great. Can it be higher? Sure. But I'm happy with this. This is working, and you'll see why, because we got that amplified damage on top underneath this. But what's also more important, what's really making this work is the mop. The reason why you want to use shotguns for this build is you need stagger power, okay? So first of all, you got to be at close range. If you're not, then why have max armor on kill if you're not face tanking, right? You don't need all that armor on kill if you're sitting behind cover. I'll just let you know that. If you're playing from cover, these builds don't work. So you need shotguns, and you need a shotgun. More importantly, you need a shotgun that can stagger. So the Super 90 will work, the MOP will work, the M870 will work, the KSG will work. So even if the first shot doesn't kill, which it won't with this, the first shot will not kill, then the second shot will stagger, or the third shot, whatever it is. So you need to stagger the enemy. By staggering them, that's a status effect. That's like disorientation, right? And then you need to kill them. In many cases, you'll see that will kill them. They might get a couple of rounds off on this, but we'll kill them. We'll get our armor all the way back. So, you know, and then rinse and repeat. So you need to have stagger power. So let's look at the defense. So remember, we got 1.3 million armor, just shy, and 770 armor on kill on paper. But you also got to remember that our preservation, which is 20% armor on kill, is not showing up here, and that's a big chunk. So preservation does not show up here. All right, so that's the stats. We're gonna go into the gameplay in just 1 second now, but the one thing I wanted to mention is that you can go higher armor on kill. Okay, so we don't call bonus armor on kill. Okay, that's bonus armor, and the reason why it's not classified as like if you don't want to call bloodsucker armor on kill, for example, if you go that route, because it dissipates all on its own. It times out in 10 seconds, where real armor doesn't. So we don't classify bonus armor as armor on kill, although I understand the idea when somebody says, oh, well, technically you get 10% more bonus armor because of bloodsucker. I get that. I get the logic there. I understand the logic, but the reality is that it dissipates, right? It's not real armor. It's going to go away after 10 seconds or whatever. So we don't classify Adrenaline Rush as armor on kill either. Obviously, I know that's obvious, but I have to put that there. But what I do want to say is that also, is that before we jump into gameplay, is that you can also put armor on kill via your mods, okay? So you can go higher, is what I'm saying than this. But again, balance. So this isn't tippity tip top armor on kill. If it was, we would put on these armor on kill mods to make it that. But we need the crits, we need the power, you know, to make sure we get the fast armor on kill. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't even try with those armor on kill mods because I was really happy with the way this loadout was. I actually created this loadout and was happy with it on my first run. I didn't have to make any tweaks. It just came out really nice balance with a little bit of luck. We assembled it the right way. That 3-3, the 3 reds and 3 blues is a really nice way to roll. So I recommend you try it this way first. And if you feel like you want to go one direction or the other based on your gameplay style, then totally do that, okay? So all I want to do is quickly count our total armor on kill, and then we'll jump right into the gameplay. So we got 10 plus 30, so we're at 40% armor on kill there. Hunter's Fury is providing us another 20, so we're at 60% armor on kill. The Death Grips are providing us 10, so we're at 70% armor on kill. And then The Bellstone combo is giving us another 10. So we're at 80% armor on kill. And again, you can go higher if you put on those mods. That would probably take us over 90% armor on kill, give or take. All right, so 80% armor on kill. And let me show you how this bad boy rocks. Woo-hoo. Thank you for letting me get through all of that, everybody. That was a mouthful, but I wanted to get all of the build details out in a chunk. But watch. It's a stagger power here that we need to pay attention. So I'm not even sure she got a shot off, right? But she's quite slippery too. She's not an easy elite to take out. That's the Grenader lady. So what I want you to notice here is and you're gonna have to do this too with all of your armor and kill builds. If you're gonna play shieldless or whatever, flanking is really important. So what I want you to be paying attention to is my flanking patterns, right? That I'm playing to perimeters. That's what that means. Constant movement. Never get bunkered down. Always be moving, because then they're gonna corner you, and you don't want to get cornered, right? But you want to get up in their grill. You want to get out of cover, and you want to face tank them, basically. Bounce into cover when you have to for like reloading or whatever. So that it's not gonna happen right away. You gotta kind of like let the enemies settle out. So don't just go running in there going, Rambo. You know what I mean? Like, no, let the enemies settle out. Let them spread out. Let them get into cover, and then you can start doing your face tanking and all that stuff. So for like the first minute of every control point, you'll notice that, right? Like, oh, I'll kind of take this flanking pattern. And it's a situational awareness thing. I think that's what it really is. So like what I'm doing is kind of waiting to see where they all land, so I know where they are, so I don't get shot in the back. But notice I'm flanking. Notice I went the long way around, not the direct route at this guy, right? But we just one-clipped him, right? One-magged him, right? I know you guys don't like it when I use the word clip, but that's just a saying, by the way. We one-clipped him. It's just a saying. Don't get stuck on it. I realize they're mags. Okay, so we just one-magged the two elites there. And so I think there's the proof in the pudding right there that the build works, okay? Now let's look at the survivability of it. And so let's pay attention to that, you know, but a lot of that's gonna be your gameplay. So we know the build works. We got 80% armor on kill, but here it is. So we're gonna face tank the whole control point without a shield, right? And I'll stop talking because I'm gonna review your questions here real quick and see who I missed. What up, Mr. Gods? Corey Leith asks a question. Does an elite explosive build require Grupo? Asking for my shrapnel trap secret build. It doesn't require, but it definitely helps, because you can run 2 pieces of Grupo and get that additional 10% explosive combo. So I'm trying to think, because I just actually answered that question in a different format. And I was saying, for some reason, I can't remember the exact question, but I said actually you don't want to run that anymore. That's sort of the old school way of doing it. Because the other way now because of the improvised gear, you might, and what is it called? Empress. You might be better off running 3 pieces of Empress instead of 2 pieces of Grupo. You know what I mean? So you could run like Wyvern, China, 3 pieces of Empress, and then, you know, whatever, probably Hannah Yu as your last one or whatever. So you might be better off that way, because you're gonna get skill efficiency as well as skill damage twice. You can get skill damage twice off of Empress. So I would rather have skill damage twice off of Empress than once off of Grupo, and then also have that crit damage that you're not gonna use, where you're gonna get that 10% skill efficiency, which is gonna give you skill haste, skill duration, status effects, right? Which is also gonna help for that bleed that your explosives give. So I would go try that route. But you definitely use the Grupo. It's just, you know, you don't have to anymore. I think Empress questions Grupo now, right? I think because of Empress International is out, it makes you wonder if you have to. You could also go the improvised route and just go off the skill damage, right? And by going that way, you end up with more skill haste, which is also helpful for traps. So, good question. Mr. Gods is in the house. The luckiest bandito in town. I don't know if you guys caught that live stream yesterday where we reviewed his drops. So like, I think you said he had about 20 clears or so, isn't that right? Mr. Gods, if you're hearing about, either way, I think he said he had about 20 clears. And check this out. So he got, like he was at a shade level 390 in Iron Horse, and for boss 2, he got the Ravenous to drop, right? Which is pretty amazing, okay? And then when he was at 650 shade levels, so 300 shade levels later, basically, he got the Regulus to drop on the same boss 2, in Iron Horse, which is absolutely insane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, Maserati Sombrati, what up, brother? You got a question for us. What's the key in the box encased ring in the New York Financial District Wall Street mission? I have never seen anyone get the yellow marker in the ring. Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's a secret loot room, Maserati. That's a good question. There's a secret loot room right behind it. It's on the same level. So there's 2 levels. You jump down. Like, I guess if you're approaching that cage, that fighting ring, and he's talking about the end of Wall Street, guys, like right before. It's actually really easy to get that key, by the way. But right before you fight the 3 bosses at the end, I forget his name. But right before you fight the 3 bosses, there's that cage, right, where there's like a pit fight there, and there's a golden key that you get. But that unlocks a loot room, a hidden loot room that's right behind it on the same level as that fighting rink. There's a loot room. It's actually pretty obvious if you're staring at the cage, just turn around and you'll see, and there's a window there. You can peek in the window and see all the loot. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just average loot. There's no special loot in there. It's just loot, but there's a lot of it. There's like, I think 6 crates basically you can open up. So, but the way you get that key is actually, so just kill the 3 bosses at the end, just complete the mission, right? And then you got all day. There's no timer on that key. So you complete the mission, but in the sky, look up. Okay, look up. You know those yellow electrical boxes that you shoot out in basically all sorts of missions? They're always there. They're those yellow boxes. They got a blinking light on them. And when you shoot them out, they're electrical boxes. They usually open up a door or whatever. Well, in the same room that you fight the 3 bosses, look up. There's 3 of those electricals boxes. And if you, Dragoff, the Dragoff room. Thank you, AG, appreciate that. I always forget his name. So Dragoff. So after you kill Dragoff and all his little buddies, after you complete the mission, totally done, it says you wrapped up, just look up and there's 3 electrical boxes that you have to shoot out. So that's all you have to do. You shoot out those 3 electrical boxes, it'll unlock the cage door. You go and grab that key, and then you use the key to open up the loot room. It basically unlocks the loot room. Am I getting that right, guys? Let me know if I'm missing a detail. But once you're in that loot room, to get into the loot room, there is another electrical box inside the loot room, and that little window that lets you peek in, it will give you a clear shot on it. So just take that shot, take those boxes out. I think there's actually 1 or 2 inside that room. So, but you have to shoot them through the window. It's not hard. So I think once you pick up the key, and you just step up to that window, it'll be obvious to you from there. Good question. Thanks for asking. And thanks for the support, man. Thanks for the super chat. No, skills don't have crits. Hungry. Good question. I mean, I don't want to. That's sort of not true, but I mean, there's a technicality to that, but in general, skills don't crit. Good question though, actually. A lot of people don't know that. I even forget that sometimes. There are skills that can crit though. I don't know if you knew that. The stickies can crit, the sticky bombs. I mean, they might have fixed that, but there used to be a bug that if you were running the Virginian with perfect boomerang and you had the sticky, if you hit the enemy with the sticky and then it critted on that sticky, it'll automatically reload your sticky bomb. And so you have an auto reload on your sticky bomb. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if you had the Virginian equipped and you sticky bomb somebody and that sticky, so I don't know if you know that too, guys, but like the sticky bombs, when they hit an enemy, that's weapon damage. That initial impact is not skill damage. That is considered weapon damage, like a gun. And so that's why the stickies can crit. because they're weapon damage on impact. So, and that's why, if you ever noticed that, like, let's say you're using the EMP sticky, right? There's no skill damage to the EMP. It's all status effects, correct? Okay. Have you ever hit an enemy with an EMP and they died from the impact of the EMP sticky? That's because it's weapon damage. That's why they died. That impact it has to have some damage, right? So you see how I'm trying to flank and whatever, and so I die here actually, but and I think that's because I blew myself up by shooting their weak points. So watch the weak points. But yeah, so that impact is weapon damage. So just from the sticky, so you can crit off of the sticky because of its weapon damage capability. And if you got the boomerang, which sends that bullet back on crit, it sends the sticky back on crit, and you could have unlimited sticky bombs that way. Really interesting, right? They might have fixed that. But that used to be a thing. And I don't really promote bugs. It's, you know, don't rely on things like that. What up, Antol? Tony Fikes? Good one, Destroyer of Words. That's a good one. He goes, if Star Trek has taught us anything, it's that red guys don't take much to kill. Yeah, you don't want to be the red guy in Star Trek. Totally, man. Oh, man. I like bringing that up, too. Like, the unsuspecting idiot. Ravy, 2 elites. Damn, I'm out of ammo. Yeah, what do you guys think about the time to kill, though? Do you think this works? I mean, it's working. You know? It makes the reloads really fast, right? The reload on this is at 1.6 seconds, and remember, I'm running rate of fire on the mag on the weapon, but I should have put reload. You want fast reload, okay? Reload is what allows you to multi-kill. If you get caught in a reload, you die, right? So reloading is important. A lot of situational awareness is going on here, guys. That's a big part of surviving. So there's 2 things, or there's 3 things I would say. Like, if you feel like you run these builds, shotgun builds particularly, and you die a lot, one of them is your flanking patterns. You need to take the long way around. Also, you need to know when you're in trouble. So I knew I was in trouble there, and so I bailed. But I could have kept shooting at the enemy, but I bailed because I felt somebody shoot me behind me. And so that's the situational awareness part. So your flanking patterns and situational awareness. By having a good flanking pattern, which I mean rolling the perimeters, taking the long way around to an enemy, okay? That's giving you enhanced situational awareness because it's allowing you to locate your targets. It's buying yourself time to locate your targets. By locating your targets, by knowing where they are, you're gonna be playing at better angles and getting shot less in the back. I have no shield, right? So notice I took the long way around to him. I could have went around the other side of the truck and got shot on my approach, but I preferred to not get shot on my approach. And so I took the long way around and shot him in the back, right? So, and then also your plan of attack, right? I see 3 guys here. I'm gonna go for the isolated one before I get the other one. And then you got a little bit of skill balancing, right? You got a skill management is the word I'm looking for. So make sure you use your time out your skills on approach and all that stuff. So like if your skills are like on cooldown and you're about to approach 5 enemies, bad idea. Pop and cover, let your skills come back, right? And then you know, hit them with your pulse or whatever. So you know that all of those things are going to help. And then the last one is get the first shot out because shotguns stagger. So if you get the first shot out, you're going to stagger, and so that staggering is what allows you to get the remainder shots out. See that? So they don't even get shots off, right? So that's a lot of survivability when they don't get shots off. So yeah, I feel like this is really working with that 3-3 combo. I think that I think that Hunter's Fury build adds a lot, right? You started using the Hive Hungry 40s with what kind of Hive? So with the Contender, if you guys know the Contender, Hungry 40s is talking about is the Contender is the True Patriot build that I hacked into a 6 skill tier hybrid skill damage build. It's absolutely amazing. You can solo legendary with it. It's amazing because you basically all those buffs that you get from True Patriot improve your skills damage and all that stuff, right? And because you get protection from elite, you get protection basically from everything. you get armor regen from True Patriot, and then you get amplified damage. The amplified damage is also helping your skills. So the Stinger Hive. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, because it sends them running. Budget time. Erratic Buddha, good question, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure that's too intuitive as well. But welcome to the game. I'm glad you're glad to see newer players on my channel as well. And you're not alone. There's a ton of newer players, so all your questions are probably relevant to a lot of people. So appreciate that, Erratic. But armor regen does not apply to the shield unless it specifically says it does. Like, what am I thinking of? Foundry Bulwark, where it says that makeshift repairs is the talent on Foundry Bulwark, and it says in there that it specifically helps the shield repair itself. But just so you don't know, makeshift repairs isn't technically armor regen. So the real answer is no, not that I can think of. There's no armor regen in the game that heals the shield. But good question, really good question. AG asks, Tux, what do you think about the oxidizer and the skill build? I think the oxidizer is situational. It's I think that it's a pain in the ass and it's inefficient at killing things. But it's just like one of those things that serves a specific purpose. So it's really good if you're gonna use it to get them hit them at their spawns. Like if you know legendary and you know where the spawns are, then you hit those spawn doors with that. And then right when they come out, they take all that damage and it weakens them for your team to finish them. But if you notice, like the oxidizer has a really, you spend all day with that oxidizer to try to get the kills that you need, and you could probably have gotten those kills in a fraction of the time if you just went with a different skill. You know what I mean? Like an artillery turret or even drones or whatever, you know what I mean? So, I'm not saying it's a bad skill, it's an amazing skill. It's just not my go-to if I want to be powerful at killing things. It's more of like a support skill damage skill, you know what I mean? It's also good for defense, it sends enemies backwards. You can use it to clear floor 100 in less than 30 seconds, right? So it's got its purposes, but it's just like what I'm saying. It's got its situations that it's really good at. You know what I mean? And one of those is like hitting those spawn doors, sending enemies backwards, but everybody gets out of the cloud. You know what I mean? So you send out that cloud and they take a little bit of damage, but they run away. And then so then you got to use like 10 more chems to kill that one guy. You know what I mean? Because they kind of run in and out of your clouds and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? But it's a good support build. If your team's got the DPS, like if your team's got a lot of DPS and stuff like that and you're good to go, then we just face tank that boss, right? No problem. So obviously you can die. You saw me go down a couple of times throughout. So we just cleared, was that 2 control points there? So you can die. It's possible. It's just about, exposure and getting hit. Look at that stupid lawnmower. Screw your lawnmower, it comes out of nowhere. It's like, I just, the thing's complete. So anyway, so you can die. So it's gonna happen, and that's because you're out of cover, playing with no shield, running around like a madman. So, and so there's times where you can get overwhelmed. You only got one shotgun, you're only one man. When you're facing 4 enemies, and one of those was the boss. And actually, that situation where I just went down was really an important one. Your biggest enemy, your biggest ally, I will say, is speed. So your biggest enemy is anything that jeopardizes that. So riot foam people are absolutely your worst nightmare, and that's why I died, is because I had 2 riot foam guys doing cross streams on me like fucking Ghostbusters. So stay away from the riot foam people, and you will live. But so anyways, so that's just my feeling about it, man. I know a lot of people love the the oxidizer, but it's just like, for me, it's just kind of underwhelming, but it's got its purposes, and so it is a useful skill in the game, and you should use it. But I feel like it's more like a support build. But I've noticed that people will use that build, and if the team doesn't have the DPS, it's just a really shitty match. You know what I mean? You're doing legendary, and you got one guy. We're gonna jump into some more builds here in a second, but you got one guy you know, oxidizing things, and then the rest of the team kind of just doesn't have the DPS, and then you'll notice you guys are just playing that match out forever. You know what I mean? So I think like if your team's not strong, then I think you're probably better off. I think it requires like a good team with really good DPS. So like, you know, they're killing enemies like really well. Legendary or heroic, it doesn't matter. They're doing a good job at killing guys with their guns. That's what I'm talking about, you know? So, and if they're doing a good job killing enemies with their guns, then an oxidizer build is really nice to have because it's making the enemies a little bit weaker because you're not killing people a lot, but you're taking away a lot of their armor, and so you're making them easier and faster to kill. So you're basically improving other people's DPS with that build. I think that's really what it's supposed to do, as well as play a defensive role by sending back, by controlling the crowd a little bit. So right, it's sort of a crowd control thing, but yeah, I don't know. Okay. What up, Fallout guy? Good to see you back, man. What up? I like that group, that band, by the way. Okay, so you guys have seen this build. Should we take it into some different directions and get into some live gameplay, or what do you want to do? Well, it doesn't matter because that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm kidding. You guys have a vote. This is the United States of Tux Nation. And I'm the Dictador, which is a funny name, Dictador. Sounds like a bad word, Dictador, right? So, anyways, so we can go some different directions here, right? So we felt pretty powerful, but this is the crazy thing. This is the thing you got to consider. The biggest change you can make on this build is you can make one change. Can anybody guess what that change is? The most impactful change to this build is really easy, right? It is dropping your 511 gloves and putting on a Hunter's Fury piece. Why is that the biggest change? So did that just blow your mind? Did that just do it? Why? We're still high armor on kill, right? We lost only 10% armor on kill. That's all we did. We lost. This is what I want you to think about. You should be thinking about stuff like this. We lost, so that build was absolutely fun. I totally enjoyed it. I recommend it, okay? Give it a try. But you have to ask yourself this question. Is it worth losing a measly 10% armor on kill and health, right? And health. We lost health. We lost health, right? This was the trade, okay? So we're losing 10% armor and kill. We still got the high armor. We still got crit damage, but we lost 10% health. Well, that fucking sucks. Jeez, I don't know. And what do you guys think? Does it suck to lose health? Okay, but what do we get in exchange? We get, what, like 45%? Well, we get 20% amplified damage for just standing there, guys. We don't even have to shoot and we can get 20% amplified. You guys know Hunter's Fury, right? Like, I don't need to go over this, but I need to make the point that for 10% less armor and kill, you get 20% more or 20% more amplified damage. That's massive. And then you get all these amplified damage stacks on top of that, right? 5% per each kill for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, which is another 25%. So that's 45% on the surface, which is really amounts to actually 65% amplified damage, because it's amplified damage on top of amplified damage on top of amplified damage, which actually ends up being 65% amplified damage coming from Apex Predator, not 45% that it says on the paper if you read it that way. That's how it actually computes. So it's 20% from Apex Predator when you're just standing there, and then 5% from each kill on top of that, but it's amplified damage on top of amplified damage, so it's multiplying, that's multiplicative. Stacking, which gives you 65% amplified damage. Hungry 40s, thanks for the super chat, bro. Appreciate that, man. So Hungry 40 said, would you ever make a China light build for fun? What do you mean for fun? China light build is good, man. Like, yeah. China light build, do I have a piece on me now? Let's take a look at that. I'm not sure I do, actually. Just, you know, gear issues. Stash space issues. And I got 3 characters. I probably have to dig one out of my other character. I don't think I have one on here. But China Light's really good because you get explosive damage and then you get the second piece of skill haste, actually. So we used to use that for like mortar explosive builds or the Firefly build if you're running that in common. Here's one. There. So explosive, skill haste, and status effect. So it's actually really nice to run a 3-piece China Light build. It's just not so popular anymore because of the mortar turret being stuck with demolitionists, and you know, it's like really specific. But I'm sure you still see it out there, right? It's just like really specific. But I think when you'll probably see 3-piece China Light coming back again is after they make the newest game changes, the latest game changes, right? That they're testing on right now. So what we're talking about is like, and the reason why is because they're gonna unmarry the special skills, the specialization skills with the specialization. So in the future, you'll be able to run, like, for example, technician with the artillery turret, right? And when you start, because we're opening up those possibilities, then I think you're gonna start seeing more creative builds come out and people using China Light more. But I don't know if you guys saw like these, I use my China Light. I got this, it's been a while since I've promoted these, but I gotta bring them back to the surface actually, and you just reminded me. So kudos to you, Hungry 40s, because these builds are really fun. If you like to run and gun and you like skill builds, I got a run and gun sticky skill build that's actually amazing. You basically shoot them with your thing, and then you shoot them with your sticky, and then you throw a seeker at him at the same time, and you're doing that just back to back. Your skill haste is so fast, you got basically no cooldowns, that you're able to constantly use your explosives, and that uses the China Light combo in addition to Hannah U and some other pieces and stuff like that. And so it's actually a lot of fun. It's a run and gun explosive skill build. And so it's a ton of fun. So I use China Light. So there are specific builds that really have a lot of fun. I'll bring that to the surface since you just reminded me. That's a lot of fun. But I do think we'll start seeing more China Light builds when we get the new gear changes, specifically the specializations. So when they start unmarrying the artillery turret like this right here, right? So you can only use the artillery turret if you're using demolitionists. But in the future, that's not going to be the case. They're changing that. So when that happens, you'll be able to use technician with the artillery turret, and then the people will be running the artificer hive, and you're gonna see a lot more China Light builds because of that, because that explosive damage is a lot. It's a lot. 15% explosive damage. Oh, and then with the biomask, right? So also running China Light 2-piece Gruppo with the biomask, that boosts the biomask a lot too. So it's got really good use cases, that thing. Good question. Thanks for asking. And thank you for the support, my brother Bandido. Thank you for supporting me, keeping the dream alive. Woo, woo. Woo, woo. Okay, so we were talking about that. So this one change gives us 65% more amplified damage. Who wants to go kill somebody now, right? Now look, but we got 65% more amplified damage. In exchange, we lost 10% health. Who gives up? Right? Who gives? We lost 10% health and 10% armor on kill. Raise your hand if you rather have 65% amplified damage than 10% armor on kill. Raise your hand. And so that's the decisions that you need to consider. That's what you need to consider. So when somebody's, so that's how your build should evolve that way too. You need to ask yourselves questions like, well, I can have 10% more armor on kill or 65% amplified damage. You should have that answer. So where are we at? Again, 10% from Gunner, 30% from the Mop, right? So we're at 40%, 20% more from Hunter's Fury. So now we're at 60%. And then we got Bellstone. So we're at 50% armor on kill. Does that make sense? And we're not done. Am I missing something? 10, right? 10 plus 30, right? So 20, 30, there we go, 30. So there's 40, 50, 60, 70. 70% armor and kill. Did I say something different a second ago? We got 70% armor and kill. Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm looking at Memphis. What up, Memphis? Good to see you here, man. Good to see you on the live. How about Tip of Spear? You get 20% extra damage, but we can get more with any DPS build. So what about that? So how about Tip of Spear? You can get 20% extra damage, but we can get more with any DPS build. So what about that? No. Yeah. I mean, Tip of Spear absolutely sucks. I think if that's what you're saying. I think that's how I'm interpreting your you think. I'm not a fan of Tip of Spear. I think it needs a rework. Anyways, I'm gonna get to more of your questions, but in the meantime, let's go kill somebody. So so let's compare it on this flooded levee, because you guys just saw me clear that, and so I think it'll be a good comparison. I like to. And so we'll just run one control point with this, and then again, what do we say? 70% armor and kill. So are we complaining about 70% armor and kill? And then we got 65% more amplified damage plus another 35% from the chest piece. So that puts us at 60, 70, 80, 90, 100% amplified damage. You know, you can't complain about that. Now, not everybody knows that, right? So some people read that Hunter's Fury at face value, and I usually say it at face value too, because it can kind of be confusing. But the Benny Zone, what's going on? Hey guys, is the mop? The mop's not dark zone, is it? Right? I think we can get the mop in an open world. I forget now. Is the mop dark zone? It's not, is it? I think dispatch is right. I think what dispatch is saying is right. Can somebody second dispatch? Second that motion? Oh, Maxim not in, bro. Good call. You know, that hadn't even come to mind. You could totally go Emily's Guard. That's an absolutely amazing way to go. I mean, it's a little bit less than this, right? It's not as good as the. I might have to go to my other character to get that, because I think it's with my other characters. So you're absolutely right. That would be the best secondary weapon, because then you can swap. Yeah, we'll run that next. Good job, Maxim. I totally forgot about that. Actually, and I love that gun. You guys know Emmeline's Guard. It's got perfect preservation. Excuse me. Perfect preservation, which gives you, I think it's like 24% armor and kill. And it's okay. So we're live, so I'm gonna focus here in a second. But yeah, perfect preservation is absolutely amazing. So okay, so notice that guy up there on the ridge. So we need to take him out, catch him on fire. So those are little survival moves you need to make. The beginning is always going to be the hardest. All right. So I might not make it. There we go. Look at all that armor that just came back. I mean, we were almost dead, right? This guy's hating life, isn't he? Now you got to stay close to these guys, so you want to play tight. But remember, the beginning of all these missions are always the hardest. So you always got to pace out the first like minute. I don't know. You guys notice that, or am I talking out of my ass? Like basically the first minute of any control point, you notice like when you stir up that bee's nest, they just like. They're little, you're most likely to die in the first minute, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Remember, riot foam is your enemy, so do not get riot foam. Oh no, I got riot foamed. Fuck. But we got good armor and kill, so look at that. So we get all our armor back. All right. So what I'm doing is skill management there. I just want my skills to be at a good place before I start charging forward. Don't be too much of a hurry. Clearing content quickly is important, but so is surviving. So he's putting up a turret, so I'm gonna go up and over. See if that works. I can survive that. Come on! Ah! It didn't. Maybe that was a bad move. I was thinking that turret wasn't gonna get a line of sight on me, but it did. Now the real challenge to doing solo legendary without a shield is whether your backup actually picks you up, right? Like, let's see if these jokers kind of get at it. I mean, they're not even showing up on my mini map. You see that? This has been happening a lot to me lately, and so I'm sitting here. Look at this. They're not even on my mini map. Usually there's the green on the mini map. I hit the flag, so they should be here. I saw them show up right below me. This happens all the time to me. This happened to me yesterday too. Like, they don't get me up. Like, where are they? See, they're right there. Look at that. And they don't get me up. Like, there's no reason, right? And this guy, look at, there's a bad guy who's about to get me up. This happens to me all the time. All the time. It's like, it's broken, right? I mean, look, I'm gonna time out. I'm gonna time out. That's absolutely worthless. Absolutely worthless. So, and then it's stupid. Like, look, I can't fast travel to them. I'm wasting my time. I get really mad about that, guys. I really get mad about that. I don't know about you. Jeff M, I actually like clutch talent. It's just that it's really specific. It's really specific. Like, I mean, what I mean, like, to make it good, it's really specific. But it's really nice. I think it's just, it's underutilized, and actually, we might as well just play here because those guys are. Actually, let me reset the control points while I'm here. But it does not make you mad. I mean, I can fast travel with that. I'll just run to this one instead, though. But like, that those guys are so useless. Isn't that? Man, that really irritates me, man. Because this is like, especially when you're playing solo. I mean, that's the only purpose they serve. You know, is to pick you up when you go down, to back you up, and they just can't even do that. You know. And I'm not complaining like because like this happens like once or twice or whatever. It's like constantly. It is more rare that they pick me up than the opposite. It's so rare that they actually get me up. Yeah, more than not, they just leave me there bleeding out as I'm whatever. So, anyways, I'm gonna try to be really aggressive with this build. So this is gonna get scary. So don't pee your pants. But. Oh, and then we also, I should have mentioned, we also get, so I'm getting shot in the back as I'm, we also get that disorient status effect, which is a huge lifesaver, right? All our armor back. I can't tell if he's dead or not. I'm trying to call my allies is what I'm doing. Not that they're any worth anything, but at least they're human decoys, right? So now we got all of our stacks up, but so that status effect's a big deal. It's actually what saves your life a lot. Buys you reload times, you know. So now I'm gonna throw my. It's okay to take damage. Remember that. Not afraid of damage. So right here, I'm just waiting for my backup because there's a lot of enemies on my radar. I don't know if they're actually there or not. They might be on the other side of the fence. I guess we cleared it. Look at the group of useless people haven't even arrived yet. So remember, this is 70% armor on kill, and we're at a 3-3 ratio.
Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Between armor and weapon damage. So we, that's putting this at a little over.
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
I think is where we're at. Yeah, 1.3 million. So.
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I feel like we have to I keep catching myself on fire somehow. I don't know how, but.
You
so
can't be any geek
there,
off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Do I feel more powerful? I mean, not really.
You can't be any geek off the street.
Feeling?
Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
I just think that, I guess, let's get some resources. I feel like, you know, Intimidated does so much for you. Adding.
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Sometimes it's hard to feel it.
You can't be any geek off the street.
Because
Gotta be handy with
I
the
guess
steel,
either
if
way,
you know what I mean.
Ooh, I just blew myself up again. You gotta watch that. That's a problem with shotguns sometimes, is that you can really blow yourself up a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and straight up. But
You can't be any geek
hitting
off
those
the
weak
street.
points, because I
Gotta be
just
handy
have
with
a
the
bad
steel, if
habit
you know
of
what I
hitting
mean.
those weak points, which is a good habit. But with shotguns, when you're standing close, you just gotta watch it, right?
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with
So
the
we
steel, if you know what I
basically
mean.
one-tapped that boss. I mean, one-magged that boss. I heard explosive helped a little bit too, for sure. But
You can't be any geek off the street.
yeah,
Gotta be
so
handy with the
everybody was in
steel,
the
if you know
single
what I
mag,
mean.
basically. So the build works. Of course it does. It's Hunter's Fury. Are we surprised?
You can't be any geek off
skill
the
damage,
street.
wicked.
Gotta be
Anything
handy
good
with
here,
the
guys?
steel, if you know what I
Skill
mean.
damage, Hasbro, nah. We've done that build before. I think there's some... So, I mean, I don't think there's too many surprises in this build. Can we make it stronger? Absolutely. Do we need 70% armor on kill? Well, I don't know. Can you just kill faster and then... I mean, I think that's the question, right? That's the question. There's two things. You know, let's fast travel. Let's reset this, and then we'll look at the build again and see if there's any more changes you guys want to make. Because it's possible. There's questions that we got to ask ourselves at this point, though, right? So, I mean, we got to ask ourselves these questions. Like, the thing is that we only have so many rounds in our mag, right? And I can't remember what this one has. Is it 6? I think it's 6, right? Maybe 8. I got to look again when we get there. Oh yeah, thanks about the clutch. I didn't finish my thought on the clutch because I got into that fight. But what I mean specific, it was broken and then they fixed it back in TU10. So it's been fixed for a while, but it's got a bad reputation because people are still stuck on thinking that it's broken, and so they just decided not to like it. And then some content creators aren't building around it because they haven't opened their minds to it yet. But the reality is it's actually really amazing. And but you just have to use it right. And so the clutch works with with builds like on Striker, for example. So if you guys don't know, clutch is 100% armor on kill. It's 100% armor on kill. It's just really good. I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna switch characters real quick because I want to pick up my Emmeline's guard for my other character. But it's 100% armor on kill. It's made for builds that have a high amount of red cores, because the more red cores you have, the stronger clutches. But here's the deal. Here's why people don't like it. One is they're running too much armor on their builds. So that's your first mistake. If you're running a high armor build, then clutch sucks. Read it. It says the more armor cores you are, the stronger it is, right? And it says 100% armor kill, up to 100% armor kill. You have to have enough red cores to make that happen. Okay, so that's the first thing. 2 is it's got to be max crits, because it heals by crits. So if you don't got crits, or if you're not critting, you're not healing, right? Okay. 3, you got to land your shots. If you're missing shots, you're not healing. That's the biggest deal. That's where most people go wrong, right? You got to land your shots. You got to land your shots. So if you're using the vector at 400 meters, then you're missing so many shots, you're not healing. Clutch isn't working for you. You're not killing. You got to get the kill, and then from there, every crit beyond that kill is going to heal you up to 100%. So you got to get it. You got to get the kill, and then you got to crit, and then you got to land your shots. Obviously, you're not critting unless you land your shots. You get what I'm saying? So you got to land your shots. You got to get a kill. You got to land your shots, and you got to have high crits. Those are 3 rules. Number 4 is you got to have a high rate of fire. You don't have to. No, number 4 is kind of like, you don't have to, but it's that the higher your rate of fire, the faster you're critting, the faster you're healing. Okay, so if you want it to feel good, if you want to notice it more, then you also want to go with weapons like the Vector, the CTAR, the Police M4, the little SMG Uzi that's got a 950 RPM. I forget the name of it. It's the one that's perfect unwavering, that one. So, you want to have a high RPM. So I don't recommend it with like the slower RPM weapons. Like, it's not going to work great with the shotgun, because you also tend to have a lot of armor with shotguns. So it's just like, you want, so like a 6 red striker build with the CTAR, like the rail splitter build. Awesome. I actually did that one. That's a whole nother stream though, but it's just a great talent. But those are the rules to it. And so if you play to those rules, you'll find that you'll like it more. So, where's our Emmeline's Guard? There it is. So here's Emmeline's Guard. This is actually a really, really good SMG. Let me just flip it over real quick. And so if you look here at this SMG, you'll see that it's the one on the left, that it's got 900 RPMs, which is really respectable. That's really nice. 65 in the mag. What? Right? What build am I wearing? Yeah. Oh, it's because of True Patriot. Okay. So don't mind that. That threw me off. I was like, wait, that feels large. I think it's like, we'll look when we put it on my other build. But it's actually got a decent sized mag. I think it might be, is it 50 or 60, guys? I can't remember, but it's got a lot in the mag. Now, the damage is actually really high. Now, we'll put it on my other character so we can see what it really is. But anyways, let's look at the talent. So killing an enemy repairs 12% armor over 5 seconds. So it's giving you another 2% there. And then headshots gives you another 12. So you're going to get 4% potentially more armor on kill with this. All right, so let's move this over and then we'll swap back to my main character. But yeah, so but the real nice thing about this Emmeline's Guard is that it's on the P90. And the P90 is, it plays kind of between the Vector and the MPX. So it plays in between those when it comes to power and speed. So it's actually a nice compromise. So if you love the MPX, but I like the speed of the Vector and you want the best of both worlds, then go to the Emmeline's Guard. The only thing about the Emmeline's Guard is that it is down a mod slot. So it's got one less mod slot than both those weapons, but you're okay with that. You're okay with that. It does really well without that. So you don't need that slot. It's not making or breaking any build. So, but really nice to have for that that extra 4% armor and kill. And it actually can achieve it. It's got a nice stream of fire and power and rate of fire behind it, so you can actually get those headshot kills more than you would think. All right, going back to my other character here. So we're gonna make some other changes to this. Let's see what direction we want to take this, but so here's the question that we wanted to ask. Here's the question that I was gonna ask to you. Okay, so one of them was like, okay, so here's the deal. So we made these changes. So we dropped our 80% armor on kill to 70% armor on kill. In exchange, we got 65% amplified damage, right? Now, the question that I want to ask you is this, is that, do you need more damage? Well, you can, of course, right? But if the objective is to kill an elite in a single mag, okay, and you got 7 in the mag, then the next step up is what, guys? To kill 2 elites in a single mag. Are we doing that? No, I didn't track it. I didn't track it in that last one. Were we killing 2 elites in a single mag? But I don't think we were. I think we were still killing an elite in a single mag. You understand? So if you want to add power to the build, you have to say, well, what's my goal? What would that additional power do? We already had enough power for survivability. We have more than enough armor on kill. At 70% armor on kill, we got more than enough for survivability. But the next step, I think, would be, well, it would be to add add enough damage so that we can kill 2 elites in a mag. So that's I think the next step. Otherwise, like, why? Why add more damage? If we're killing every elite in a mag, including the bosses, then why do I need to add more damage? That's the goal, because the next step up would be to kill 2 elites, in a single mag. You know what I mean? So, that's how I think about it. So, and I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm thinking it's plenty possible. We got room. So one thing that's inefficient about this build is that we're running 2 pieces of Bellstone to get 10% armor on kill. And that sucks because Bellstone, we don't need that armor regen, and it's providing that armor regen. We don't need it, right? So I think that's the move we would want to make. That's where the power is going to come from. It's to do something other than Bellstone, right? And so we could run this Cheska, for example, and then that's going to give us a lot more crits, right? So we just bumped up our crits, and then we're going to add more crit damage. And then on the chest, instead of doing Bellstone, we could run something like, we could go technically Badger, but we could also do a Hunter Killer with Golan But what I'm actually looking for is a Grupo chest. Let's see if I have a Grupo where I can pull off the chest talent. Let's see if I got the thing. And so bringing more crits into the build, but still not losing any of our amplified damage is basically what we're going to try to do. And then the goal would be, can we kill 2 elites? Can we kill 2 elites in a single mag? And that's a tall order. It's possible. I'm just not sure. So Grupo. Don't see that I have that. So I do have a chest gun. Let me see if I got a Grupo backpack with. I mean, we could also pull in versatile. Thought that'd be insane. There we go. There we go. That's what I need. Okay, because I got the Cheska backpack. So give me a sec. Let me swap this out. So we're gonna put in the Grupo backpack with Adrenaline Rush. I still like that. And then we're gonna pull this off this Bellstone. Because Bellstone brings inefficiency to the build, so that's technically my first move, and so does Death Grips, because the Death Grips brought in health, right? So I think that's the piece we want to run. I think that's a good one, right? And then both of those need to be re-rolled. Let's see if I can do that. So let's take off this Hasbro and move that to crit chance. And then let's change the chest, take off the Hasbro there, and move that to more crit chance. So probably gonna be too high on crits. So, and then we might need to bring on another 2 armor cores. So let's see if I already got that here. Hang tight, hang tight. We'll get this swapped out. Nice. Trying to see if I can save a re-roll. That'll keep it apples to apples if we bring in more armor. Hunter's Fury crits. There we go. Okay. That's why you gotta have those extra pieces. Okay, boom, that one. Okay, so that's apples to apples. We need to bring ourselves to 1.3, and then I'll re-roll the holster. So this that'll keep us at the same armor level, so we're kind of doing apples to apples, obviously. So if you wanted to drop your armor, that's another way you can go. Okay, now we just need to add our mods to see where our crits are at. 54, 119, so we can go all in on crit damage here. Nice. It's gonna be a big change. But let's see if it's gonna do the trick. Can we one-shot? Or not one-shot, but get 2 elites in a single mag. 54, 143, so that's a big change. That's a big increase. Let's just delete that junk. All right. Do I need to reset the control points, or are we good? We're good. Okay, so I'm gonna fast travel here, and then we'll go. You guys following me? You see where my head's at? Does that make sense? So the question is, so that's what I'm saying. So both builds were great. So build 1 worked. Build 1's great, but then you have to ask yourself, from where we started was like, oh, by taking away the death grips, we lose 10% armor on kill and 10% health, which we don't care about, but we gain 65% amplified damage plus the disorient status effect. Hands down, the disorient status effect was the biggest win. I mean, we're not complaining about the 65% amplified damage, right? But I'll take the disorient status effect all day. So on top of after that, the next move is like, okay, so we're obviously that's powerful. That build worked. We did it. Then the next question is, okay, if we want to improve the build from there and still have high armor on kill, then what's the next step? Well, the next step is like, okay, so we're in both builds, we're killing elites in a single mag, which is great, but can we? The next step from there is to kill 2 elites in a single mag. That's a tall order, and so you have to ask the question: do I want to make changes? Or were we good with the last change? And so that's what we're asking ourselves right now. Okay, so we're at the same amount of armor. We're at 1.3. Okay, now I'm gonna switch my secondary weapon in case. I'm gonna actually put on, oh, did I not grab it? I didn't grab Emily's guard, but I was gonna do that, but we'll do that next round. So we still got 40% armor on kill coming out of these 2 items. So we got 10% coming from here, and we got 30% coming from there if we get the headshot, which we're not doing as much as you would think. So, anyways, but this does give you up to 30% armor on kill. So that's 40%, and then we're getting 20% more here. And we lost another 10% because we got rid of our Bellstone. So now we're at 60% armor on kill. Same amount of amplified damage, which is at 100% total amplified damage. And now we got more crits, and we got the same amount of armor. So what we did is we gave ourselves more crits in exchange for 1% armor regen and 10% armor on kill. So we dropped it down to, we're now at 60%, right? Armor on kill. And that's when you get a headshot. If not, we're at 50% armor on kill, which is plenty. But now we need to see how efficient our killing is, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull that off. I think that's a tall order, you know, to ask if you can one-shot elites. I'm not one-shotting elites, but killing elites with multiple elites with a single mag. Oh, I didn't want that guy to go upstairs. That sucks. Of course this guy's behind me. So maybe. So we killed him in 3 or 4. I'm not sure, but it was close. So it's possible. It's possible, but we're not full. We're not fully charged yet. We got to get fully charged, right? What I mean is we got to get all of our amplified damage. So you can see those green stacks at the bottom there. Need to get my decoy out. Nice amounts of bonus armor coming in. Okay, we need to get this guy's turret down. Best way to do that is by killing him. I mean, we're not even done. And this is what I'm saying. So I opened this video by saying there's so many ways you can go with these builds, right? And we're not even done. There's so many ways. I mean, you can adding the memento charges you with so much more power because you get every time you pick up a trophy, right? Fucking foam. So keep an eye on my kill efficiency, because that's the question we're trying to ask ourselves: is can we kill multiple elites with a single mag? Now the boss isn't gonna be hard; is a tall order. But it's possible. So we killed her in 4. So it's really close. Because I think I got, is it 8 that I have in my mag? I think I can have 8. Those turrets are raping me, man. Yep. Those turrets are raping me. Oh, look who showed up. Well, hello. Martinez, get your shit together. That's who I named. You guys name your dudes? Because I do. Mine's name is Martinez. Your control point captains. Martinez, god damn it, you're always in the wrong place at the wrong time, Martinez. Polish those goddamn boots. Martinez. What do you guys name your little captains, your little inconsistent captains? Look at these two jokers. See them out here? Look at that. It takes the whole team to fight this non-elite, and they're losing that battle. You'll lose that battle 9 out of 10 times. Reminds me of that movie, The Other Guys. You ever watch that one with Wahlberg and Will Ferrell? Funny as shit, where they're like police officers. And yeah, so we killed him in 4. So we're killing him about 4, so it's really close. We could almost kill him in 2, I think 2. We just need 2 of these guys, and one of them not being a boss, to stand right next to each other. The mop does a good job of staggering. That's most important, I think. I think you gotta have that stagger power. Ooh, look at this. It's a party. Yeah, so we killed 2 there for sure, but one of them was a non-elite. So, oh, we got a resource convoy too, so it's definitely a party. But remember what I said, gotta be willing to take damage, so get out there, be vulnerable. If you don't get the kill, you don't get the heal, so focus on those kills, even if you're taking damage. Just stay focused. There we go. Let's spawn kill some motherfuckers, huh? This is how you efficiently take out control points. So just stand over the little hole. You know what I'm saying? Look at these guys. Hey, jokers. Let's kill this boss. I'm gonna go after his weak point, of course. If I can get it, he's moving. Or not. Or not. I love seeing my armor pop all the way back up like that. It's super satisfying. Might as well get some ammo while we're here. Yeah, this feels good. I mean, this is definitely improvement. I actually like this version better than the one we just ran. But I do like the original build too, actually. I think that's the way to go. So I would probably, because I think it's the biggest differences. I think that's what I'm seeing. I like to see the biggest differences. And so I would say run the original build, and if not, then go all the way to this one. But the one in between where we had 70% armor kill, we were running the 2-piece Bellstone. I just don't know if that extra 10% was worth it, and it's not for me. It wasn't for me. That extra 10% armor on kill, running the 2-piece Bellstone with the 1% armor regen, this is not worth it. Go all in. Go more into damage. So either go all into armor on kill, the higher side where we're at 80%. That felt great. I loved that build. That worked. It really did. 80% armor on kill was great. From there, I think ditch the Bellstone, ditch the what was the other one? The death grips, right? Oh shit, I just got caught with that phone. Oh, blew myself up. Shit. Actually, I'm not gonna armor up. I'm just gonna. You see, Adrenaline Rush gave me that bonus armor, so that saved me. And from here, it's just like charge. Try not to sticky yourself all the time though, like I do. That riot foam, man, it gets me. That's my Achilles heel. I don't know about you guys. You guys know me. Like it's about speed. So when they take that away from me, it's just like I'm vulnerable. Which is a good PvP tactic too, by the way. If you're a PvP guy or girl, then you know, it's not everybody's speed. Not everybody's tactic is speed. But take away those status effects like blind or riot foam are a big deal. You know what I mean? And if you run both of those in PvP, and you take people's sight and freedom of movement away, you know what I mean? A lot of people panic. And that's what you're looking for. You're getting that moment where they just give up, you know? So that's the way to go. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest jump, right? So it was, if you either go all the way in at 80%, which felt great, which is great, or you go all the way back here, which is at 40, we're at 60%, right? So we got 10, plus 30, so that's 40 right there, plus another 20, so we're at 60%. So, but I'm gonna make one more move because I think we can make this just a little bit better. So stick with me because we're gonna step this up one more level, and I think it's gonna make another dramatic difference on the build. So let's see if any of this stuff is good before we go, because you know, don't like to let good gear sit out here and rot. Wyvern. I feel like I have everything that I could possibly use that's already Wyvern, but never know. Ooh, that's nice. Close and personal. I'll take it. You're like, what, Tux? Did you just pick up a sniper rifle with close and personal? Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys seen my running gun sniper builds? Yep. Ooh, that's a nice knee pad. I think I have it, but I'll pick it up anyways. Okay, so let's clear that control point, reset it, I mean. And then I like playing the same control points for the sake of you guys seeing a comparison. Like, okay, he did it this fast against these enemies. Let's take another look at that. Let's see what you guys got to say. Are you sure it's 53%, Matthew Erickson? We just did the math the other day on a live stream, and they were pretty adamant that it was 65%. But we'd have to check that math. You might be right. I always give people the benefit of the doubt when they question the numbers. 1.2 times 1.05 by 5. Why 1.2? What's the 1.2? Oh, because of the 20%? Because of the 20%? Don't you have to do 1.5 times 1.2 times 1. Don't you have to do that individually out then you have to add it and then multiply it again. You know what I mean, Matthew? I don't know. I'm not gonna get into the math stuff here, but you might be right. We'll have to double check. We'll have to double check. Okay, so let's see here. Let me make sure I didn't get any other. What do you mean you could never get to 100% armor? I get to 100% armor all the time with Clutch. You got to get a kill first, and then you can. Then you have to crit your way up there. I think those little nuances are why people don't use it. I'd say try it. Put on 6 red cores, kill somebody, and crit them to death. I think the reason why you're probably not getting there is your weapon is too slow, would be my guess. You have to be able to get, crit enough within that 10 seconds because it's a timer, right? I think it gives you 10 seconds off the top of my head, something like that. I do, and then if you don't get enough crits within that window, then you're not going to get to 100%. Your weapon has to be fast enough. So speed is part of the equation. And they don't say that in there. They never say that in there. They don't even say you have to crit. That's an assumption, right, that people make. But yeah, the clutch, sorry, I'm just reading through comments that I missed because it's hard for me to get the questions and comments while I'm clearing control points. But Luis Vasquez, what's going on, brother? Good to see you made it. All is well. Thanks for catching me on Twitch the other day too. By the way, guys, there should be Twitch links dropping in the feed. Appreciate it if you guys follow me over there and subscribe as well if you're willing to do that. Appreciate that. Yeah, you could totally throw the Scorpio in the mix. I mean, I don't like the Scorpio though, you know what I mean? Because that's a good question. I just don't like the Scorpio. It's on the bottom of my list of shotguns. It's at the bottom. Like, I just don't like it. It applies a status effect, but why not just kill them? Because you already got status effects, you know what I mean? Like, this is the way I think, but I know the appeal. I understand why people like it. But like, the mop applies a status effect. It's called stagger. You know what I mean? And between stagger and the time in which they died, I don't want to apply another status effect on them. I just want them to get out of the way. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, of course you can still kill them with the Scorpio and give them a status effect or whatever, but that has its own set of features and attributes that I'm not looking for. I'm looking for that armor on kill on this particular build. You know what I mean? So you could totally do that, and that could be your version of this build, is to do that. But that's where I'm going. And it's I'm going after the weapon talent because I believe that again, we're talking about efficiencies here, and with this one, I believe that's where we're inefficient. Okay, so our inefficiency is in the gun, and I've said this before in the past in other videos, but I just don't think it's running preservation on the mop is sort of overkill, right? And also, we're not getting as many head kills with this one because this shotgun does really, it staggers because of its rate of fire, if that makes sense. And so I think you want to quickly get some in the chest to get that stagger off. Anyways, we do get some headshot kills from time to time, but not as many as I would like. So I think we're better off on using something like we can go killer, right? Once we get that first kill, then that second and third kill is going to be easier because we got killer active. So I like that. We can also go Optimus and start getting damage right away off after that first round is cleared. So we can go close and personal if we feel like we're always in 7 meters. That's sort of tough though. That's sort of tough because you'd be surprised on how many enemies are standing at 8 meters, even with the shotgun. So you could go in sync and run a drone. You can go pummel, get 3 consecutive kills, get a reload, and get 40% weapon damage in 10 seconds and pumped up. But you know what I'm gonna go for? I'm gonna go for killer. And the reason why is because we've invested in crits, so let's make the most out of that. Does that make sense to you? So basically what I'm saying to you is that I believe most of the time we were getting chest shot kills. So because of that, we were actually only getting 10% armor on kill from the talent. So then the question begs, would you rather have 40% critical hit damage or 10% armor on kill? You see, that's the logic, and that's how you slowly back your way out of the builds that you pretty much started. Now, I'm gonna change the secondary weapon also to the Emmeline's Guard. And then probably we're gonna have to run crit damage on both of these because we're gonna be too high in crits. And so we'll switch to it if we have to, instead of if we get into a tight situation, but I'm gonna stick with this. But this is nice because we're gonna get that. Oh, so we got 50 in the mag, 900 RPM, and then 24% armor on kill if we get a headshot kill with this. If not, then 12%. So damage to targets out of cover. It's a nice, beautiful weapon. Totally want to go that way, but I am focusing on the shotgun build. But we can switch and swap, and it's not gonna hurt our damage at all. So you could totally go that way. Okay. Providence, let's get rid of that, and then that one we'll keep for a moment. Might already have it, but Billy Butcher, you're back. Billy Butcher. Billy Butcher. Okay, so I think we made a big improvement. Okay, so basically we just dropped, so we traded off, I'm gonna say we traded off 10% armor and kill, but we got rid of preservation, so up to 20% armor and kill. We traded that for 40% more crit damage. Okay, so that's 80% crit damage, that's 183% crit damage, right? Now you gotta kill with the crit to get that. But our crits are so high, we're gonna be doing that because each pellet has a chance to crit. So it's not 100% guaranteed, but it's a good chance. On top of that, we got, you know, let's call it, somewhere between 53 and 65% amplified damage. But you know what? Just for the sake of argument, let's just call Apex Predator 45% amplified damage. And that's exactly why I don't like using the amp numbers for mathematics, because there's always an argument, and I'm not going to flesh out the math on a live stream. Anyways, so let's just take it for face value. It says 20% amplified damage plus 5% amp damage times 5, which is another 25%. So 45% amp damage. And then 35% amp damage from Intimidate, okay? So that's, let's see, 50, that's 80% amp damage there. And then we're at 183% crit damage. Is that right? 183% crit damage on kill with the crit. So it's not gonna be guaranteed, but it's helpful. So as far as armor on kill, we got 10% there, 10% there, plus 20% there. So we've come down from 80% armor on kill all the way down to 40% armor on kill. So we cut our armor on kill in half. We're keeping the same amount of armor, but I think we've increased our damage by way more than 2x. And that's because we added amplified damage where that we didn't have initially, and then we put crits on top of that. So we've come a long ways on damage. And so far, what I've said, like for my opinion, I feel like that it's come close. I would say either go 80% armor and kill, or drop yourself all the way down to 60%. The last build that we just ran, and then this one might even be better than that. But I feel like the going mediocre, you know, going like the 70% armor on kill was just not the way to go. I think you either go 80% armor on kill, or you come all the way back down. And boost your damage up, because otherwise you're making subtle changes that aren't really improving your gameplay. They are a little bit, but not in any major ways. Like, I'm not surviving more because of the changes that we had made, right? In the first build, we were killing elites in a single mag, and that is a really good accomplishment. And so we're still doing that. And plus, obviously, a little more. We're not quite killing 2 enemies with a single mag. That might change now. Now, this is going to be a tough fight because I see a resource convoy there. So, bear with me. This is about to be a battle. So, all right. So we activated. What's it called? Killer. The turret just got there, and I'm getting fright foam. So that's no. But let me hit my backup. So I saw that guy drop the turret. So, you know, I was running away because that was dangerous. I didn't get shot in the back. So. So now I'm going to go for that turret. If I can. There we go. Catch these guys on fire up there. Catch them on fire again. Let's give them a hard time. Catch all these guys on fire. I like setting off these fire alarms. Oh, somebody got behind me. So let's throw out my decoy and then get some armor and kill. So yeah, we're 2-tapping everything, so that's good. killed 2 guys with 1 bullet. That's good. So, yeah, feeling good. Feeling good. Easy. Feel like we're easy rolling, you know. Ooh, big heavy boss over there, though, huh? I'm gonna clear out his backup first. 1 shot in reds. That's a good sign. Get him at range. You could do that too. And clear out his backups because he's gonna take it. He's a heavy guy. So try to make sure I don't get shot in the back while I'm focusing on him. That's basically what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot about the resource convoy. So the last build was able to do this too, right? Where we could just spawn camp, and that's over. So now let's go kill the boss. Oh, now he's taking elevation, so we'll jump down. There we go. Let's take out his belt. He's tanky. You'll see how many reloads it takes. So there's 1. So 2 reloads. So 2 full mags, basically. He's about as tanky as it gets, right? He's right up there with the chungas. Okay. Imagine if you had pummel. Those reloads would be nice, I'll be honest. But yeah, I mean, it feels like we're on easy mode now. I mean, heroic's not hard. I know. That's coming for experienced players. It's definitely easier. People have been playing this game for a while, but with certain builds, it can be hard. I'll be honest with you. You can make it harder. If you do this build incorrectly, like, you know, going back to where we started with this conversation, if you do this build incorrectly, I've seen people do these armor on kill builds and they can't kill a non-elite, you know? And then you bring this into a group gameplay, it's just like you're a non-essential combatant. Basically, everybody's gonna be like, okay, we'll let him go running around, spending an hour to kill somebody when he could just have a better build. And you know what I mean? It's just like, and so now we're getting closer to a build that you can actually use in group play. You can run this one in group play for sure. You got the damage now, right? You're doing your job. This is really close to being a good build. I gotta focus on this guy because we got this boss on my throat. Don't do it. Woo! That was a close one. We won. That was close. Sorry, it was a close one because I thought she had me there for a second. I was taking heat from all directions and whatever, but you can run this. So I think that's a good point. That's a good point that we haven't mentioned yet. Where that thought process is, which is like, okay, so we start off with a really good solo build. There's no doubt, and you know you can get. But you bring that build, you know, you bring a max 80% protection from elites build into group play, and then people are gonna probably be a little upset at you. You know what I mean? It's not about build diversity and like being creative. That's not what it is. It's just like it's not essential in group play to have that kind of armor on kill. It's just not, you know. You got backup, and it's just like, you know, these are sort of Han Solo builds when you do that, you know. But now it's different. You can run this one in group play and justify it, and it'll work. So we're at 40% armor on kill. This is healthy, right? Now you're still gonna have to be the aggressor because we got killer going too, right? So you got crits on kill. That felt great. That felt great though. I love that build. What's up, Choo Choo? What's going on, man? Identity, what up, brother? Good to see you, man. I'm glad we caught each other on the live side. What's going on, man? We're talking armor on kill, just in case you didn't know, but you probably do. Wayne, what's going on, brother? So it's just okay, so let's finish up that thought process. Oh, look, of course they're gonna come bug me here. Come on, guys, leave me alone. I'm trying to live stream. Get out of here. Your diseases. Your diseased faction, basically. So, but okay, so the thought process was like, okay, so, you know, taking in an 80% armor on kill build into group gameplay is just a bad idea. But does it work solo? Absolutely. It was a beast. I loved it. Let me save this build because I think this is gonna be my second reco. Okay, so I'm gonna save this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back to the original because we've come a long ways from the original, right? Good, man. Good to see you. So you guys all know Identity, right? If you know who I am, you know who Identity is. Because I think we got I think we got a couple of wavelengths that cross over when it comes to creativity and builds that have a purpose and stuff like that. Identity's builds have a purpose too, and so he builds them with intentions, and so do we over here on Tux Nation. So glad to be brothers with Identity. So if you guys don't know who he is, or if you do know who he is, but you haven't taken a moment to subscribe to them, then I invite you to do that now. Identity, you should drop a link to your channel if you can. I'm not sure if it'll take it because the bot might block it, but if it does, I have to drop it. So, anyway, so let me put on the original. Okay. Let me put on the original. I might be full. I got to delete something. So give me a second here. Fenris, Murakami, junk. Let me delete some of this junk so I can switch my build because it's not letting me. Oh, it says it's because I'm in combat. Oh, okay. Well, let's kill these randoms. These showstoppers. That's what we're calling them. Showstoppers. Also, remember Saturday night, I'll be streaming the big stream. So Saturday night's our big stream, our big weekend stream. So that one's going to happen a little bit later. I'm pulling it in the hour, though, a little bit more. I normally started at 7, and I think I'm going to be pulling it in maybe closer to 5 so I can catch a broader audience before everybody hits their night time. So, okay, hopefully that was everybody. So let's swap this now. Okay. So here's where we started, right? Now the guns changed because I re-rolled the talent, so keep that in mind. But everything else is basically the same. So I added this armor here too. Okay, so let's change a little bit because we did some re-rolls. But we started here and we had preservation. So the gun was giving us 30% armor on kill potentially if we were getting that headshot kill. We changed that to killer, but that's where we started. And we still got gunner. We were running 2 pieces of bellstone, right, which is giving us 1% armor regen, 10% armor on kill. And then we had the death grips for another 10% armor on kill. And then we were running 3 pieces of Hunter's Fury to get that 20% armor on kill, but plus that 15% shotgun damage. Now the original build had 1.3 million armor. We added another armor kill down here. Let's see if I have another Hunter's Fury. I don't. So just keep in mind that the original one had 1.3 million armor. All of them did, actually. We stayed consistent at 1.3 million armor. That's a happy place. You want a little higher on the armor for armor on kill builds if you can. So, go that route. But so this was great. This was 80% armor on kill. And it did absolutely the job that it needed to. We survived everything. We killed everything. We were tanky as hell. So it was a good way to go. Everything in between was sort of like okay. And then I think that where we ended up in the end was a much more aggressive build. Okay, and so we're still 1.3 million armor. We took away the death grips. We took away the bellstone. So we lost 20% armor on kill there. And then we took away preservation, which lost us another 10 to 20% armor on kill. But instead, we now have 183% crit damage and all the amplified damage from Hunter's Fury and Intimidate. So we're at a really good place, the same amount of armor. But more importantly, we have that disorient status effect. And picking that up alone is a big deal. That allows you to spawn kill easier, tackle groups. And all of these builds was with no shield, right? They were all running the same skills. So all of them accomplished the goal. The deal is that, I feel like the biggest changes is like one of them is you can run both of them solo. I would not run the original build at 80% armor and kill in group. This one is more group certified. You can run in a group with this one. Absolutely. But the only thing with Hunter's Fury builds in groups is just remember that you are pretty aggressive, where your homies might be sitting way back there. And so not only does you got the scaling going up, but you also taking all the aggro, because you're running in first and you have to get in shotgun range. So if you find yourself trying to snipe with the shotgun, you might want to look at my Surgical Super 90 build. That one's better for sniping with shotguns. Not advised you snipe for shotguns unless you're running the Surgical Super 90 build. That's the only build that I know that can snipe with the shotgun. It's absolutely amazing. I actually run the 8x scope on the Super 90, and it's a ton of fun. It's an off-meta build, of course, you know what I mean? So, anyways, but if you're not looking to sniper shotgun builds, you shouldn't be running a shotgun if you're playing deep, right? So you got to push forward with shotgun builds. And so the problem with that is that if you're running in group and your crew's not doing that, then it makes you really vulnerable because you're out in the open. And so that's why Hunter's Fury builds aren't always that good in group play, because your team sort of got to be able to, they got to watch your back. They got to at least, you know, shoot the guys that are around you. But if you find them, you don't want them shooting the guy you're shooting at, because you need that disorient status effect and that armor on kill to activate. You need both of those because you're being aggressive. So if they're killing your kill, then they're taking away all your defense, right? They're taking away all your defense. And so that's no bueno. No bueno. So I think the only other, I mean, there's so many different ways you can create this build, guys. We can go on for hours. So, you know, I'm not going to torture you with all of the different directions you can go with this, but I gotta say that you can add the memento, and that's gonna do a ton of work for you too, especially during solo gameplay. So the memento is gonna give you more weapon damage output every time you pick up one of those trophies, which that alone is huge, because you are literally going from kill to kill, which also means you're going from trophy to trophy. And any build that can utilize the short-term trophies is godly, right? So those trophies are gonna be really, really helpful. However, the downside is that Intimidate will be more short-lived. So you're replacing Intimidate's part of Intimidate, you know, as far as its activity time, to those with those short-term buffs. But it's also a good exchange. It works. The concept works. And the reason why is because you're also picking up armor regen and skill efficiency, which also means your decoy and your banshee pulls are more active for you as well. So there's wins and loses there. You're also going to pick up another armor core. So let me just show you what it looks like. So you're going to pick up another armor core, right, while preserving that weapon damage core. So notice we just got tankier. So although our bonus armor is going to time out faster, at the same time we'll have more of it because we just picked up another armor core, right? So we lost some crits because we lost the Grupo backpack. So we actually lost a lot of crits. So that's something to consider, right? But this is another direction you could go. You could probably, what I would recommend you do is actually drop down a weapon core, an armor core back to a weapon core to maintain the 1.3. And the reason why you want to do that is now you got 4 red cores. So when you pick up the short-term trophy, it's going to give you 5 times 4, right? So you're going to be at 20% more damage out of every trophy you pick up. Now you saw we're able to kill 3 or 4 enemies at a time, so you might find yourself picking up 3 or 4 trophies at a time as well. And that's how you stack your bonus armor and weapon damage. And then the skill efficiency is going to help here, but you're also going to get the 3% armor regen, so that's nothing to complain about. So this obviously makes sense. This is another route. Now another way you can go, just throw back on the Grupo, okay, is you can put on the, let me grab it, the Coyotes mask. So that's huge. The Coyotes mask is huge because that's going to give you a ton of burst damage also, just like the Memento trophies, except the good thing about this is that you don't need, what am I trying to say? You don't need a kill to get it. It's just by proximity, it's going to activate. So in order to do this though, you're going to have to run the Hunter's Fury's chest piece, and that's not a bad thing. That's absolutely acceptable. Now, you're going to lose Intimidate, but what's going to happen is you're going to maintain all the amplified damage from the kills that Apex Predator gives you. You're going to get, they're going to last 30 seconds, which is a lifetime in this game. Trust me. You're going to get at least 1 kill every 30 seconds. Believe that. So, that's what this build would look like. So you can run, so this is absolutely amazing too. So if, but in this equation, you would have to ask yourself, do you want the bonus armor now? Now the bonus armor helps you step up the enemies and protect you, so you still might want to keep it. but you can put more damage out here too. So you can run Vigilance if you feel like you're getting the jump a lot. You could also run Versatile, which would be huge. That would be huge. So do I have a Versatile Grupo version here? I have a Badger Versatile, so that we could roll that route. So let's run some crits. So there we go. So this would be a huge move too. So now you can swap between your Mop and your Emmeline's Guard. So the Mop's gonna give you 10% armor on kill. The Emmeline's Guard is gonna give you at least 12% armor on kill, not 22%. Now this is what you gotta know though. Here's a nuance. What's up, JD Portland? What's up, bro? Glad you made it. And so you actually have to, if you switch out of the preservation, it's gonna cancel it. So keep that in mind, okay? So Versatile is huge. It's gonna give you 35% amplified damage to enemies within 15 meters between shotguns and SMGs. So both of these. So when you switch from the shotgun to Emmeline's Guard, you can get 35% amp damage. Plus all the amp damage the Apex Predator is giving you. Then you switch back to the shotgun, it's gonna refresh that 35% amp damage for 10 seconds back to the shotgun. So that's gonna give you, that's a lot, guys. That's a lot, a huge burst. That's basically the same amount that Intimidate was giving you. Now you don't need bonus armor. You just have to remember switching weapons. The only thing I warn you is that before you switch, make sure preservation has run its course. So don't switch. So after you get a kill, you have to use the Emmeline's Guard for another 5 seconds if you want its armor and kill. It's not that big of a deal. So even if it's only halfway healed you over 5, like, you know, if you waited 2 seconds, right, and then you switched over, you know, you got 6% of that armor on kill headed your way. So that's not the end of the world, because you're also going to have Gunner's armor on kill, and you're going to have the 20% coming from Hunter's Fury. So it's not a major loss. It's just something to consider. When you switch out of preservation, you deactivate preservation. So it's something to consider. So yeah, there's 100 different ways you guys can go. So that's just a few of them. But you know, from there, I'll leave it to your imagination. So if you haven't hit the like and subscribe yet, please do that. I appreciate you guys making it to this show. And I will catch you mañana. Remember, tomorrow's Friday, so I'll also be streaming on Twitch at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I hope I catch you guys over there. And if you haven't followed me and subscribed to my Twitch, and I appreciate you guys if you did that. Anyways, I will catch you on the other side. Thank you for watching this live stream and catching all these build varieties. I hope this was useful information. Laters.
Tuxedo out.